Hello, my name is Stephen Redman and welcome to another episode of Pastor's Library. This is the channel where we talk everything about theology books that might be on a reading list for a seminary course, for a bachelor's or master's degree in biblical theology or in biblical studies, and maybe just a book that you've seen somewhere on someone else's library and it's piqued in interest. So today I want us to focus a little bit on commentaries on a particular Bible book. If you like what we have to say today, please leave a thumbs up on YouTube. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't done, and remember to click on the bell. All that does is make sure you're notified when we release another episode. So today we're going to talk about my favourite commentaries in the book of Hebrews. To start off with, I don't want to talk about a commentary. I want to talk about a book that deals with the theology of the letter to the Hebrews. This is a book which is in the Cambridge New Testament Theology series. This whole series is very, very good. If you are reading a commentary or to study about a New Testament book, I would generally recommend that you read one of these first. This one is by Barnabas Lindars and it was written in 1991, which is putting it a little bit over the edge for quotability, but it's still a good book because it was reprinted in 2003, and I would just quote that date personally. 153 pages, a good introduction to the book of Hebrews. Now, just to prove it is possible that I could hold a book in my hand that's over 30 years old, this is the International Critical Commentary on Hebrews, written by James Moffat. Yes, the James Moffat who wrote the Moffat translation. I looked at this more out of interest, more out of a little bit of a homage to the writer of the Moffat translation. I did find it interesting. It is reasonably academic, even though it was originally published in 1924 and my version is a 1948 reprint. I wouldn't ignore it. It's interesting. It simply is not as good as some of the newer commentaries because of the way we have honed the process of producing commentaries these days. And I think that also, of course, it refers to translations and versions of scripture that are more up to date, and I would suggest to you there's a lot more information out there. If you want to read a really poor bibliography on Hebrews, this is the place to get it. A modern commentary will give you a wider bibliography which will stand you in good stead. But all I'm saying is don't ignore it. A book which is heavy and a very worthwhile commentary is Volume 10 of the New Interpreter's Bible Commentary. This has commentaries in it on Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 and 2 Thessalonians, 1 and 2 Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James, 1 and 2 Peter, 1, 2, 3 John, Jude and Revelation. It's a heck of a lot in this. And you might look at this and see it sells for £60-70, and that's a lot of money for one book, but it's not a lot for commentaries on all of those. In here is a 147-page commentary on Hebrews written by Fred Craddock in 2015. So this is an up-to-date commentary, a little bit thin on detail, but it's worthwhile. I have to say to you, I've used most of the commentaries in this book, and Fred Craddock's good. It's worth listening to. The Abingdon New Testament series is by Victor Fitzner, which I hope I've got right. It was written in 1997, 218 pages. So again, this is maybe not the greatest level of detail. Its bibliography, of course, is 25 years out of date, but it is a very good bibliography, and it's sort of, to my mind, sets the standard for how bibliography should be. I found this very readable, and very helpful. This one is one of the newer ones in my library. It's by James Thompson. It was written in 2008. It's the Paideia commentary on Hebrews, 328 pages. I have to say I found this quite refreshing, very helpful. You know, we're not into my top few books yet, but this is a worthwhile commentary to engage with. Now, most people get a real lot out of the NIVAC series, the New International Version Application Commentary series. This one was written in 1998. It's by George Guthrie, 468 pages. Of course, it focuses on modern day application, which is very important for preachers, very important for pastors, and for students in general. I would say to you, I don't think this is one of the best in the NIVAC series, but you just can hardly go wrong with them. This is definitely worth engaging with. Notice I'm not into my top few yet. If I seem to have quite a lot of commentaries on Hebrews, it's because it's a book I have been engaged with for a long time, and I did a long preaching series on it some time ago, and I still like to read about it. This is the New Testament Library by Luke Timothy Johnson. I like most of what Luke Timothy Johnson writes. I always engage with his commentaries. He has a great deal to say about our Bible. This was published in 2006 and it's 402 pages. It's classy, it's got a brilliant bibliography. It has a great level of introductory comments before he gets to chapter 1. This is an excellent commentary, and I would suggest to you what he has to say about chapter 2 and chapter 6 are especially worth reading. Now, I think this was the first commentary I ever bought on the book of Hebrews. It's by F.F. Bruce. It's the New International Commentary on the New Testament. I love F.F. Bruce. Everything he writes, I love. He published this in 1990. It's 426 pages. It's over the 30-year-old mark, but it's still a very good commentary. And particularly if you can pick this up used at a good price, I would suggest to you this is still good to have on your bookshelf. I suppose I'm a little bit disappointed as to how many of my commentaries are over 30 years old right now, but these are the two-part commentary on Hebrews by William L. Lane, both of which were published in 1991. The first one is 211 pages, the second one is 617 pages, which to my mind makes 828 pages of commentary. And the word biblical commentary is technical. These are limited by the layout design, but the amount of footnotes is absolutely enormous. And frankly, this I think still sets the standard for best technical commentary out there on the book. But watch this space, because these two books will be replaced soon. And Zondervan, who've now acquired the word biblical commentary, are working on this. So again, great if you can buy them used, fantastic to read and to study from, but watch out for the new one. A series which often go over the 30 years before they're replaced, often go over 40 years and sometimes 50 years before they're replaced, is Hermeneia. These are published by Fortress Press. This one was published in 1989. It's 437 pages. Attridge, who did this, is a great author. This is an excellent book. You will definitely get something from this, and it's still good value, even though it's not inexpensive to buy. And for a 1989 commentary, one would have expected it to be a bit cheaper. Again, watch this space. Now, One that I was originally recommended by a subscriber is Coaster's Achor Yale Bible commentary on Hebrews. This is 606 pages. It was published in 2001. This is where we start to get, I think, to the outstanding modern commentaries. And this is seriously a great book. You will get so much from this. The bibliography is huge and it's absolutely excellent. The introductory pages, which are about 120 of them, go into great level of detail. This is a quality book. I can't recommend it too highly. An excellent commentary. If you had this as your main commentary, you wouldn't go far wrong. Now, I seem to keep banging on the drum of the New Beacon Bible commentaries because I really do believe in them. This one by Kevin L. Anderson was published in 2013. I bought it immediately it was out, and it encouraged me to do, I think, a 15-week preaching session on Hebrews. And seriously, this commentary was the one that helped me the most. So as a preaching pastor, I found this to be the most helpful at the time. I suppose at the time I had Bruce, Lane, and maybe one or two others, but I didn't have the range I have now. But this is a classy piece of work. I thoroughly endorse it. New Beacon Bible commentaries are all paperback. They're affordable. They don't fall apart though after a lot of use, because I've given this one a lot of use. And if you look at the spine, you will see an example of how it is possible to treat a paperback with care. My warning to you all. This is an excellent book to engage with. I sort of think that if you would say that you struggle with the technical commentaries, but you want to have some help in your preaching development and stuff, or just to study, this is almost unbeatable. Now, the New International Greek Testament Commentary series is a classy series. Most of them need updating. This one is a 1993 book, so right now, at the time of filming, it's 30 years old. So if I was quoting from this in an essay right now, I would feel confident, but when it gets past Christmas, I'm not sure I'd feel so confident. 764 pages, a true technical commentary, starts with the Greek and goes on from that, yet you are not really stuffed if you don't know any Greek or if your Greek is weak. They really do hold your hand with this. This is written by Paul Ellingworth, and I would say he does hold your hand from the Greek to the English, and this is excellent. I have to say, these commentaries are often the most expensive or one of the most expensive out there. But seriously, this is a great book. And even when this is 31 years old or older, I will still be keeping this on my shelf. I find it an excellent commentary. Okay, I am now into my final three. And my third position is brand new. It's a 2023 commentary. And this is by Dave Garrard. Dave Garrard lectured at the Bible college that I did my master's at, and is a great missional worker at his age, which is not inconsiderable. He still goes around Africa preaching and encouraging pastors. A really good man. And his commentary, as you would expect, does have a certain missional element to it. But the 299 pages are full of freshness. Now, I would say that he offers a very well-grounded overview, and it's a delight to engage with. I thought I would have a look at this and mention it for him, but I actually got so engaged with it, I found that I had to just read it through. This is a commentary which emphasises a bold relationship with God. In fact, he says that the author to the Hebrews uses the phrase draw near 7 times to God, draw near to God. So this is a very, very worthwhile commentary. It uses language which is academic but helpful and easy. For example, I think this is probably the only commentary where I've ever read the word palaver in it. He says God's mercy is available without any palaver. And that's good because it means it's available in a timely fashion. It's freely available. We don't have to go through unnecessary, elaborate or complex procedures. And if that was the only message that I could take away from the book of Hebrews, I would say that's a good message. So, Dave Gerard, this is published by Whitford Stock in 2023. I would suggest to you this is a commentary you should really look into. An excellent commentary on the book of Hebrews. Now, one of my favourite authors of all time, Ben Witherington III. This and the one I've picked for top, it's a hair's breadth between them. This was published in 2007. It's 656 pages, and it is an absolutely brilliant commentary on the book of Hebrews. You will get so much from this, and it's delivered from the great mind of Ben Witherington, who always has something positive to say. And as a man who's written commentaries on every book in the Old Testament and started the Old Testament too, this is a great book to engage with. Please don't forget Ben Witherington. Whenever you're wanting a commentary on the New Testament, do at least have a look what prices are currently and consider buying his. But for the book of Hebrews, this is a classy commentary. Okay, my last recommendation on the book of Hebrews. And I now realise that as soon as this goes live, someone is going to say, I'm surprised you didn't include the blah blah commentary. And, well, a man can't have every commentary in his library, can he? But this one replaced F.F. Bruce in the New International Commentary on the New Testament. It's a much bigger, more detailed commentary, 742 pages, published in 2012. And this, I just sort of want to say, I think it sets the standard for modern commentaries on the book of Hebrews. 742, it's an academic commentary, it's a big commentary, it's got a great bibliography, it offers you something on every verse that you will want to look at. And you know, when I first got this, I just looked at some popular verses in Hebrews, and I found that there was quite a lot more than F.F. Bruce had handled in his 400-page commentary, which set the standard for years. And this really is an exciting book to read. I realise when I say that, I am talking as an academic, because reading a 742-page commentary on the book of Hebrews is not everybody's cup of tea. But I hope that you who are subscribing to this channel, it is your cup of tea. And frankly, this is probably the one I would default to, quoting in any essay, and I certainly use it in my personal material development for preaching in the church. So, that's a shelf full of commentaries on the book of Hebrews, and they're all really, really good. But the top few that I've mentioned, I would recommend that you looked at those probably first. But all of them have a wealth of expertise behind them, and I certainly thank God for every author and every theologian that's been involved in publishing them. So that's my recommendations on the book of Hebrews. If you like what I've said, please leave a thumbs up. And why not leave a comment in the comment section below? I do try to get back to everybody. So until next time, goodbye and God bless. Bye.